Cuba? We're torn because the Cuba that my parents lived in and that we were originally raised in is not the Cuba that's there now. Once it turned communist, we pretty much either had to make the decision to leave and start from scratch or not have the opportunity to leave.
Probably don't even remember Cuba.
Only able to go back and visit once. The Pope was coming to visit Cuba. A family friend who is the Archbishop still down there. I went under a religious visa, and that was the first time. When Father had made the decision to leave Cuba, basically you were not allowed to leave with anything except the clothes on your back, and if you had kids. I remember taking a doll with me. Everything was checked. Before you got on the plane, everything was removed. For some reason they found that you were taking your jewelry, or if you were taking any personal belongings, it was removed.
You cannot take
No,
your
no, it was
jewelry?
just
Why?
because that belonged to the government.
1 second.
Yeah,
like,
that
if
was
it's
the
yours,
process.
it's supposed to be
No,
yours.
no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works when you're fleeing a communist country. It was removed. I was very young. My father or my mother weren't allowed to leave with anything, and my father folded up a $100 bill as small as he could and put it in between his two back teeth so that if he were checked, they wouldn't remove it. When you speak to any Hispanic that left Cuba during the 60s, you're gonna hear very similar stories. You'll hear stories about Little Bang, where the parents decided to put them on a boat or on a flight. That was your option. You did that, or you wouldn't have the opportunity to leave.
The way you left, for sure, I wouldn't want to be back to.
No, you weren't allowed. If you left, you left. That's it. You couldn't change your mind. But I'm glad that my parents made that decision, because they could take everything away, but they can't take your education away. And thank goodness for that decision that they made. And I'm a parent and I'm a grandparent, and I could never imagine making that decision. My parents decided to make Miami their home. That's how we ended up here, as well as many Hispanics that you will meet in Miami that have contributed to making this city pretty much as awesome as it is right now. I love Miami. I wouldn't live any other place.
How it been developed? Like the not attractive areas became the most popular.
For example, where we are today, this is the Midtown area, close to Wynwood. 15 years ago, you would never recognize it. And we got into developing this building, begin the gentrification process, which then brings restaurants and bars and gyms and stores, and that then brings where people want to live and they want to rent, and that continues to improve the neighborhood and develop it, similar to what you're seeing now with Wynwood and Midtown.
So if that scenario applies to every more far close area of Miami.
It's important when the developer knows the area that needs to be focused on and that people want to live and work close to, and then they start to focus on residential living. Design district then gets more improved because now you've got more people wanting to come to this area. Then you've got restaurants, store employees over there that need a place to live. This was the next best option, and it just continues to improve the area, make it more valuable. The same thing is happening on Edgewater, it's happening in downtown, it's happening throughout Miami.
What do you think? Clutter? Usually I haven't visited that area, but then a friend of mine told me, like, I've got the gallery space and I'm thinking, shall I do gallery over there, shall I open? And then I had a few castings over there, then I had shows, so I visited that place a few times and I discovered you can see amazing restaurants. You can see like that cute bars.
When I moved here with my family, we would only go to that downtown area because you went to the Seabold building to get something fixed, because that's where the jewelry stores are, and I would go with my grandmother. The banker worked in one of the banks downtown, but there was no place to live. The courthouse is there, and then the banking and financial infrastructure was just across the bridge where Brickell is. So they started to build buildings there. I also was part of a pre-construction project from the very beginning in downtown. Since then, the arena has been refurbished, and then all the new construction that's there, and now they are starting to finally fix Flagler, which is where the city starts. Because from there, you take Flagler into the city.